Hi folks, welcome back to another episode of the Single Dad's Cookbook. Today we're going to be making a roasted vegetable soup. Basically what I've got left in the fridge to make soup with. Veg that's starting to, it's got a day or so left, but it's starting to turn. So this is what I'm going to do. So we've got some tomatoes, some leek, onion, chilli, garlic. And then I've also got some carrots and also some sweet potato. And this is a soup that, with a little bit of thinking and a little bit of processing, you're imparting flavours all the way through it. So the final dish is stunning, and it is beautiful. It's warming. It ticks lots and lots of boxes. So get your oven on 180 degrees Celsius, and let's get cracking. While I'm just doing all that stuff, I want to welcome you to the channel. If you are brand new, please think about subscribing. It costs you nothing at all. If you have come back, and you're welcome back, if you can hit the like button and drop a comment below, again, it means absolutely the world to me. And hit the little bell icon so you don't miss any other videos. Now that I've done that, while I was blabbering on there, you've seen that I wrapped the bulb of garlic in tin foil. I'm going to roast that so it becomes nice and smoky. I've took the 2 chilies. That is optional. Completely up to you. What I find is at the back end, or when you're eating it, it just gives it a nice little heat all the way through. So all I did is just cut them in half, and I've put them in the tray. And with the sweet potatoes, I'm leaving the skins on while to roast. I'll peel them off later. I'll show you how really simple that is. I'm just cutting these into chunks. So nice and simple. Cut them into chunks. Then grab yourself a bowl. Pop them all in there, and we're just going to season these so that while they're roasting, they're releasing some of the flavour and getting that flavour in there. And again, as always, you're seasoning every single level so that everything comes together beautifully. So, bit of oil. You want to get them a bit lubed up so they don't burn in the oven. Give them a shake around. Get your hands in. Unfortunately, that's the best way. So get your hand in there and just jiggle them around. Then we're going to just add some salt and pepper. Really, really straightforward. Nothing too fancy. Nothing at this stage. We're just salt and peppering them. So again, that just brings out the moisture, so they become really crispy. Well, they become soft. They don't become crispy. It just releases more flavour. You don't want them to be crispy because it's a soup. What you could do is you do this, pop them in on their own, let them roast off, and you've got a perfect replacement. Either scoop them out and make mashed potatoes, let them roast a little bit longer, and you've got a replacement for roast potato. For the carrots, I'm just topping and tailing them. Again, I've given them a wash, but I'm just going to just cut them into chunks and throw them in as well. So literally just into chunks, similar to that. So again, once you've done that, what you want to do is get the same bowl that you've just done the sweet potato in, and you just want to rinse and repeat. Do the exact same thing. You'll need a little bit more oil because it's already coated the sweet potatoes, but give them a jiggle round. Again, get your hand in and add some salt and pepper. Like I said, you may need to add just a little touch more oil, just so that they're not going to burn. But literally, you've seen there, it was just a touch, nothing too major. And again, we're just going to salt and pepper. Really, really, so far, really easy. Nothing too strenuous. Now, the one thing I would say is, if you are trying to pick up salt after you've you've had your hand in oil, maybe use the other hand because it is a bit slippy. So just got to be careful with that. But other than that, salt, pepper. Again, give it a mix around and get them in your roasting tray. So we've done that, and again, this is just all about, you want to roast the carrots so that they release their natural sweetness. So if you think about it, you've got the sweetness of the carrots, the sweet potato, you've got the heat of the chili, you're going to have the smokiness of the garlic. So it's all coming together without any additional flavouring. So you can see there, I've got them all mixed. You can see the chilies are just at one side and the garlic's in it, a little tinfoil bowl. Simple. Then we're going to pop that in the oven. Now, with the tomatoes, what we're going to do, get yourself another little roasting tray. And we're going to cut them in half and pop them in. Then what we're going to do is, as if by magic, they're all there. Again, a little bit of drizzle of oil over the top, nothing too excessive. But you just want to just give them a little bit of a drizzle. Make sure each one's coated. Then get your hands in, make sure they're completely covered. Now, while these roast, not only will release the sweetness, but the water will come out. That's just all flavour, and we'll come onto that in a minute. Once you know that they're all coated, get them so they're facing, open side, I suppose, up, because that's where you're going to put salt, pepper, and I'm adding some mixed herb seasoning. Really basic herb seasoning. You may call it Italian seasoning. It is just the basic blend that you can buy in any supermarket. So we're just going to pop that on. While I'm doing that, again, I just want to say thank you very much for all the support. I wouldn't be doing this without you guys. I know I've not posted as much. I have been busy. Just trying to get other bits and pieces together. There is another couple of videos coming, hopefully this week, but please try and make this, because it is stunning, ridiculously simple, great flavours, and it's a great way of using up veg that you know that's going to go. It's not quite turned, but you know that you've got to sort of use it that day. So cover them in the mixed herb seasoning, and you want to get them in the oven. So again, 180, they're on a different tray, and you'll see why, because we've got that. Now, with the leeks and the onion, I'm not going to roast them. What I am going to do is I'm going to cook them in butter. Now, you see, quite dirty, so we're going to give them a bit of a wash. And it's also multiplied, the onion. Realised once I took off a couple of layers of the onion, wasn't that big. So I went and redid my fridge and got another one. Now, with these, what we're going to do is we're going to cook them in butter, and we're going to caramelise them. So now you've got the sweet, the roasted garlic, the sweetness, the heat, all that kind of stuff, and then you're going to get the caramelization from the onion family. So it all just comes together. It's just flavour on flavour. Don't know if you've seen that. When I cut them open, after giving them a wash, they were still a bit dirty, so I went and gave them another wash after I've cut them up, just to make sure that it can do. I know people will say, oh, you might cut them in rings, separate them and wash them that way. Each to your own. As long as they're clean when they go in, that's all that really matters. And you can see there, it's not a massive amount of butter, but it's a decent size of butter. And I'm just breaking these up just to get the thing ready. But there's your onion family, nice and easy, and we're going to caramelise them. So we're just waiting on the butter melting. There you go, butter's melted, and then we're just going to throw all these in. Now with these, you're going to do something a little bit not unconventional, but we're going to add salt, which is normally quite conventional when you're caramelising onions. I'm actually going to add in a little bit of sugar. Now, not much, probably a teaspoon. Like literally, you can see there, it's even half a teaspoon. Because what I wanted to do is, again, it's just to off balance that caramelization. Just it's got a nice little kick to it. So we've got that going in. And it just helps the whole caramelization process. So mix that so we can know that everything's covered in the butter. Get that on the hob, a low medium heat, so that you've got a nice steady process. And again, you've got this on the hob while everything's roasting. So you can see here that they've been in for maybe 15-20 minutes, and grabbing a spoon you can see the carrots are still a little bit hard, but the sweet potatoes are almost done. And give it a bit of taste, why not? And honestly, you could take them out now. They were stunning at this point. Absolutely stunning. So we're going to give everything a bit of a mix. And as you can see, carrots are, they can snap, but they've still got a little bit of give in them. So we're just going to roast them for a little bit longer. Just move them around so everything's getting a good old jab. And again, I tried the carrots and they were stunning as well. One thing about cooking when you're hungry. So get them back in. Over to the tomatoes. So you can see the tomatoes, they've started to they're sort of shrink down a little bit. See all that liquid? That's all tomato, I suppose tomato water mixed with all the herbs and seasoning that you've put on there, and it's just flavour upon flavour. So you want to keep them, like I said, you've got it there, bit of a taste. Get it back in. You want them just to go a little bit longer. You can see here that the onion in the leek is reduced right down. Give it a taste. Again, this was stunning. You'll know if all your levels are amazing, it's going to have a great end result. So with the tomatoes, I gave them another 5 minutes. Just pop them in. Give them a bit of mash down. So that you're just breaking it up, so it just makes it a bit easier when you're going to blitz it. So I use a hand blender. If you've got a big blender, use that. Whatever you want, or leave it chunky. I probably wouldn't. You want to make sure that it is blended. I've opened up the garlic, let that cool down, because that is ridiculously hot. So you can see there it's nice and squishy. So that's going to be amazing. Now with the sweet potatoes, this is where I take the skin off them. So you can let them cool a little bit, but just to show you how easy, literally just start it, and there you go. Look, that's when you know it's done. So you've scraped all of them off. The sweet potatoes are all in. Give them, again, mash down. You want to help the blender. You want to make sure, or if you've got like I said, if you've got a big food blender that you're going to put it in, you probably don't need to do that. With one of the hand blenders, I'm doing that. And I just show you there how clean these were coming off. Then into the carrots, and I'll be honest, I just dumped the carrots in. No peeling, no nothing. They had became, again, they'd released their sweetness and everything was going grand with that. So, you can see me just lobbing them in there. Ever the professional. Just putting them in. Like I said, I did this when they were still piping hot, so you can let them cool a little bit longer. Then I've got the chilies, and all I'm doing there is I'm literally just removing the stalk, and then I'm popping them in. And these guys, the background heat that it gave was honestly stunning. It was just a nice little kiss on the back notes, on the back of your palate there. So they're all done. Now, onto the garlic. So you see there as it comes away, it is squishy. This was actually hotter than the sweet potato and the carrots. So just be careful. You can see you can squeeze it out. You guys will have a way better technique than I do. This is actually, I'm embarrassed to say it, the first time that I've properly done this. So you can see there, we've got them all out, and you can see how much of a paste it is. Way forward. That in over nice crispy bread, the best garlic bread in the world that would make. Now I've got 2 pints of chicken stock. If you are keeping it vegetarian, like 100% vegetarian or vegan, obviously you wouldn't use the butter, but if vegetarian, you want to just substitute it for veg stock. Really that simple. Now, you'll see there I've added probably half of the liquid, giving it a bit of a stir so it all comes off the bottom, and then I'm going back in and adding the rest of the chicken stock. Reason for that, and you may look at it and go, right, hang on a minute, that looks a bit loose. Wait till it thickens up. Remember, you've still got to break down the carrots, you've still got to get the sweet potato emulsified and start break down, and it's all just thickening agents. Not adding any corn flour, not adding anything else. It's just the natural vegetables that's thickening this up. So in with your hand blender. Like I said, you can do it in the and if you've got a big fancy blender, do it that way. But I'm just doing blitzing it all the way through. And then there you have it. You can see how thick that is. And that, like I said, it became so thick, so creamy, so beautiful. Absolutely stunning. I used hot chicken stock. So I hit that up. And now we're just going to get that plated up. And so you put it in a bowl and you can see straight away how beautifully thick it is. If you want it a bit looser, obviously add a little bit more stock once you've got it. Just make sure you balance your flavours so it's not all mega chickeny, but you've got it there. And that, ladies and gents, is my use up the kitchen veg soup. A couple of techniques, nothing fancy. As always, I hope I find you well. I hope you're looking after yourself and others. From my family to yours, it's always a pleasure. Till the next time, please remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell, whatever it does that the algorithm gods at YouTube ask you to do. But thanks very much for watching. Till the next time.